Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to discuss one important topic from general science, that is human diseases, and this is presented to you by me, Lakshmi Saujanya. So first of all, let's have a look at what is a disease. So first of all, we have to know the definition of a disease. So it's basically abnormal conditions that have a specific set of signs and symptoms. So this is a condition of the body or any part of the body where if the functions of the body are disturbed, or if the functions of any part of the body are disturbed or dearranged, then we call that particular condition as a disease. So this is the basic definition of disease that we have to remember. And within this disease, we have different kinds of classifications. So let's have a look at various kinds of classifications that we have. So based on various kinds of criteria, we have classified diseases. And for example, if you look at this acute diseases and chronic diseases, these are based on the duration of the disease. So how much time does a particular disease exist? So based on that duration, it is classified as acute and chronic diseases. And also we have one more classification based on the medium. So whether it is airborne or it is vector borne or through any other waterborne or sexually transmitted diseases. So in this way, we have various classification based on the medium through which the disease was transmitted, and also based on the causative agents that we have. So this is based on the causative agents. So that is virus, bacteria, fungi, and then we have this protozoa, parasites. So these are the various causative agents because of which diseases would be caused. And we also have non-communicable diseases. That means here we have communicable and non-communicable. So we'll also discuss about what are these communicable diseases and non-communicable diseases. And we also have congenital and acquired diseases. So what are these congenital and acquired diseases, communicable and non-communicable diseases? We'll discuss about all these classifications. So first of all, coming to our first classification, it is congenital and acquired diseases. So what are congenital diseases? So these are basically anatomical or these are physiological abnormalities. So these abnormalities, these are present right from the birth of a person. So if any abnormalities are present right from the birth of a baby, then this is called as a congenital disease, right? Then coming to the next classification, we have acquired diseases. So what are acquired diseases? By the name itself we can understand these are acquired or these are developed after the birth. So after the birth, at any time if a particular disease is acquired or developed, that is known as an acquired disease. So within these acquired diseases, we have two types, that is communicable and non-communicable diseases. So this is how you have to remember the classification of diseases. So if a particular disease is present right from the birth of a person, then it is known as congenital disease. And if it is developed after birth at any time, then it is known as an acquired disease. And with an acquired disease, we have a reclassification again. So what is that particular classification? It is communicable diseases and non-communicable diseases. So what are these communicable diseases? So these are caused by pathogenic microorganisms. So these are caused by pathogenic microorganisms. So what are the examples of pathogenic microorganisms? Do you know? So these are bacteria, virus, parasites or fungi. So all these comes under pathogenic microorganisms. So communicable diseases, these are basically, they will be spread from one person to other. That means this can be caught through air, water. So through all these ways, this disease can be spread from one person to other. So if it is spreading in that way, it is known as a communicable disease. Whereas if you look at the non-communicable diseases, these cannot be spread from one person to another through any mode. Right. So communicable diseases can be spread through air, water. In this way, we have different kinds of medium through which these communicable diseases could be spread. But if we look at the non-communicable diseases, they cannot be spread from one person to another through any mode. So this is the basic classification or difference between communicable and non-communicable diseases. And as we have discussed, communicable diseases, these are caused by pathogens and these are considered to be highly infectious. So how are these diseases spread from one person to other? This is done by vectors. So these vectors, they play a very important role because they are the ones which are spreading the disease from one person to other person. So the vectors play a very crucial role in the spreading of diseases under this communicable diseases. And coming to non-communicable diseases, there is no transmission between person to person. But how is it caused? So it is basically caused due to any kind of allergy that a person has, or due to malnutrition in different cases, or because of any kind of illness or changes in the lifestyle or the environment that is present. So due to various reasons, this non-communicable diseases could be caused to a particular person, whereas communicable diseases, these are spread from one person to other through these vectors, right? So vectors are like, we have bacteria, virus, etc. So these are the various vectors that we have. For example, communicable diseases, we have examples like tuberculosis, that is TB, we have AIDS, cholera, malaria. So all these are various kinds of communicable diseases. Whereas if we look at non-communicable diseases, the major example that you can give is cancer. So cancer, it does not spread from one person to another. So it is a non-communicable disease. And also we have diabetes. So it can be through genes, but diabetes, it cannot be spread from one person to another. If a person beside you has diabetes, you cannot catch diabetes. But if a person has common flu, then you can easily catch that common flu, right? So this is the basic difference between communicable and non-communicable disease. So one more difference is that inheritance of a disease. So if we look at communicable diseases, these are not inherited. From generation to generation, communicable diseases are not inherited, whereas this particular non-communicable diseases, they can be spread or they can be inherited to the next generations also, right? So these are the various differences that we have. So coming to our next classification, that is acute and chronic diseases. And as we have discussed, this is based on the duration of a particular disease. So for how much duration a particular disease exists, based on that we also classify diseases into acute diseases and chronic diseases. So what is an acute disease? So it is a disease with a rapid onset and also it has a short course of time. So it spreads rapidly, that means quickly. So it would be a rapid transmission or a quick transmission would be present, but it would be present only for a short period of time. Whereas if we look at the chronic diseases, these are persistent, that means it has long lasting effects. So these diseases are long lasting, whereas acute diseases are short, that means they exist for a short period of time. So these are the major differences. So if we look at the symptoms of these acute diseases and chronic diseases, there would be sudden symptoms in case of acute diseases, and here it would be gradually the symptoms would develop, right? So this symptoms of acute diseases, they'll start suddenly, and also pain would start suddenly, or a reaction to would start suddenly. But in case of chronic diseases, there would be a gradual development of a disease. So for example, we have flu, we have asthma attack, etc. So these comes under acute diseases. And if we look at heart disease or kidney disease, these comes under our chronic diseases. So these are the third classification that we have, that is acute and chronic diseases. And based on the medium, we have airborne, vector-borne and waterborne diseases. So what are vector-borne diseases? As we know, these are illnesses caused by parasites, viruses, bacteria, So these are transmitted by vectors. So basically, what are vectors? So what is the definition of vector? So these are living organisms that can transmit infectious diseases between humans or from animals to humans or between humans to humans. If a particular living organism is transmitting an infectious disease, then that particular living organism is known as a vector. So this is the meaning of vector. So what are the different kinds of vectors that we have? We have mosquitoes, we have sandflies, we have ticks, lice, etc. So all these comes under vectors. So mosquitoes are the best example that we know for vectors. And we also have a national vector-borne disease control program, so that is to counter vector-borne diseases, right? So coming to our next one, that is airborne and waterborne diseases. That means through air, if it is spread, it is known as airborne disease, and if it is spread through water, it is known as a waterborne disease. So these are the basic classifications of diseases. And next, coming to the diseases caused by causative agents. So what are the different causative agents that we have? We have fungi, bacteria, we have viruses, we have protozoans. So here, if we look at the examples of diseases caused by fungi, we have athlete's foot. Here I've mentioned two each for one of the causative agent. So for each of the causative agent, I've mentioned only two diseases, but we have lots of examples, and you have to remember at least a handful of diseases wherein you have to also remember the causative agents, because questions can be definitely asked in exams, and also statement based questions can be expected, wherein questions would be asked like, for example, athlete's foot, it is caused by a virus. So that would be a wrong statement because it is caused by a fungi. So the pathogen that is responsible for this is trichophoton. So this causes athlete's foot, right? So there would be painful itching and burning sensation in the infected area. So this is what is the main symptom of athlete's foot. And this would be because it would be transmitted from one person to another. So if there is bad foot hygiene where skin remains warm or moist for long period of time, then what will happen is this fungi, it will find like optimum conditions to invade this dead outer layer of the skin, and then it will cause that particular disease. And coming to ringworm, it is caused by microsporum, that is Taenia solium, and this is by direct contact from unbathed cats and dogs or objects handled by infected individuals. So because of these, ringworm would be spread. So there will be some pores would begin as small slightly raised reddish areas, and then it will enlarge. So these are the various symptoms of this ringworm. So coming to the diseases caused by this fungi, along with this we have Madura foot, we have Dhobi itch. So all these are various examples of diseases caused by fungi. So coming to the diseases caused by bacteria, we have leprosy. So this is one of the famous examples of diseases caused by bacteria. We have leprosy. This is caused by Mycobacterium leprae. So this is the bacteria responsible for causing leprosy, that is Mycobacterium leprae. So this is caused by long and close contact with infected persons. Leprosy could be spread from one person to another. And we also have typhoid. So we have one more name for typhoid. So what is the other name of typhoid? It is enteric fever. So remember these terms, it would be important from examination point of view. So enteric fever is one more name of typhoid, and this is caused by Salmonella typhi. So these are the things that you have to remember. So by looking at these examples, you have to understand what you have to know about various diseases. So how is it caused? What is the pathogen that causes it? What are the various symptoms? And how is it transmitted from one person to another? And we also have various other examples for diseases caused by bacteria, like we have diphtheria, pneumonia, we have pulmonary tuberculosis, plague, we have tetanus, whooping cough, cholera. All these are various examples of diseases caused by bacteria. So coming to the diseases caused by viruses, we have rabies and measles. So as we know, this rabies, it is caused by virus. So do remember this, rabies and also measles. So measles, it is by direct contact. And also this is transmitted through air. For example, if the infected person is talking or coughing or sneezing, then some water droplets would come out. So through air, through those water droplets, this measles would be spread from one person to another. And in rabies, they have one thing known as hydrophobia. Right. So this is caused by the bite of a mad dog, that is a rabid dog. And because of rabies, they'll have headache, nausea, fever, insomnia, and also they'll have fear of water. So all these would be present under rabies, and this is measles. And we also have our common cold or flu, chickenpox, smallpox. Then we have various other diseases like dengue fever. All these are various diseases caused by viruses. So you have to be able to differentiate between the diseases caused by various causative agents like bacteria, virus, fungi, etc. Then we have finally the diseases caused by protozoans. So protozoans, we have examples like malaria and kala azar. So malaria, as we know, it is caused by plasmodium, and it is transmitted to humans by bite of an infected female anopheles mosquito. And also there would be three stages under this malaria. There would be a cold stage, fever stage, and sweating stage. So in this way there would be three stages under malaria, which are with the symptoms that we can see. And we also have amoebic dysentery or amoebiasis, and we also have kala azar. This is also known as black sickness. So if a disease has two names, you have to definitely remember both the names so that it would be helpful for you in the exam. So it is caused by leishmania, and because of this there would be an enlargement of the spleen, liver, there would be jaundice, skin becomes dark pigmentation. So these are the various symptoms under kala azar. So basically this is infected by a bite of a sandfly. So this would be transmitted from human to human through ingestion of cysts in drinking water, food, or if it is contaminated with stools and all, then kala azar would be infected to various persons. And we also have diarrhea, sleeping sickness. So all these are various examples of diseases caused by protozoans. So that is all about human diseases. So this is important from general science point of view for various exams like UPSC or any other state PSC exams, SSC exams, etc. So from general science point of view, we have to know about the human diseases, how these are caused, and also the various classifications of diseases. So that's all about this video. So hope you have liked this video. If you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much for watching this video. Bye bye.